Our second shortlistee is Yanita Georgieva, who sadly can't be with us this evening. Yanita's poetry submission is another extraordinary piece of work about cultural loss and assimilation and bilingualism and distraction and bewilderment. She's born, I think, in Bulgaria, raised in Lebanon, now lives in England. And this selection of poems concentrates upon what it is to have a mother tongue and how your inheritance ebbs and flows through the generations, how you keep hold of it in a new country, whether you want to keep hold of it. But in terms of the poetry, the interesting thing is that she's writing about how a new language or a second language or idiom estranges your perceptions. You alight on novel words to capture those perceptions, and so the poems made as a result seem doubly strange. Speaking Practice is the name of this collection, and I think both Rachel and I particularly enjoyed the way in which these very important themes of, as I said, cultural translation and dislocation are individualized. How the reader comes to know the family and comes to know its practices, its habits, its cuisine, and its fondness, both for the new circumstances in which it finds itself and for the past. Yanita can't be here, but I'm going to read, I'm sort of mentally asking her permission as I do this. I'm going to read a few poems. The first one is called Dream Talk. And this is a lovely poem about the fear of failure in a new environment, and also about motherhood and the fear of failing as a mother. Since it's just us, we can look at this egg and call it a baby. 1 year, my body was serving a purpose, thick octopus costume. Then another, sea-slicked revenge suit. Now I just Google hip pain a lot. I don't know how I'd care for a tadpole, but that feels important. What would I do with an electric blue jellyfish, its wet, jeweled tentacles splayed in my palm? Everyone says you'll know what to do, like a slippery omen from the ocean's dark mouth. Every minute with children feels like a test. What if they think I don't get it? What if after all those piercing critiques of my mother, I do everything wrong? Every salt cliff picking its skin is an invitation to jump. Some nights I wake up thinking I've ruined my life. It's always the same dream. 2 sweaty hands on the wheel of a car I can't drive. It's one of the best, I think, evocations I've read of the sort of same dreamlike state of being pregnant and you know, not being able to talk about it. This is called It Was There and Then It Wasn't. One morning, I looked at the sun and saw nothing. A soft egg splayed over a dim face. Before that, every conversation was a hill that looped at the peak, so we were always out of breath. I liked poking at our size with a fork and hearing it tickle the good china, like a parent might do to a porcelain child. All those summers of fishing for rings in the pool taught me nothing. Today, our phone calls hang in the air like sulfur. When we run out of words, we go back to the gold under the mattress. How you are saving it for me in case I change my mind. And one last one, which is about cuisine. Bob Chorba. These beans take hours to soften. Sometimes it feels like they'll never stop clattering. Sam asks why the house smells like a sewer, our home breath thick and pungent with a bubbling mask. But these are my beans. It's important that they smell like this, like the houses that raised me. It's important not to open a window until it is time to tip in the carrots and herbs, that we use the scratchy blanket my grandparents folded and sent in the mail. Belonging is more than hovering over a pot and stirring, but in separate kitchens. My mother and I are trying. Her with her trousers rolled up to her knees, easing a cabbage out of its skin, simmering cherries and tipping them into hot little jars with gold lids, that she might one day sneak into our suitcases to eat in our cold foreign kitchens. And me with my quick English, kneading soda bread to my grandmother's voice. Some days I am standing on stage in a costume 3 sizes too big, putting on a comical accent. When I wash my hands, I catch myself in the bathroom mirror. I catch my mother's damp forehead, my grandmother's small hands, all of us rushing to say something before we forget.